a great time to be an actor today because you're not restricted to one language. Somewhere I knew I would perhaps do something in the entertainment industry, but at the same time, I had so many other interests as well. I don't think I ever thought about it like pressure. I think I thought about it like responsibility. It's amazing. And honestly, it's such a privilege. It's like my roommates are fabulous actors. I think the most important thing that I did for myself this year was really show up for myself. And by that I mean sometimes saying no can be very hard, right? Of course, there are days where you will feel low. I feel like, there are so many projects that maybe say I've auditioned for or I've given my best or things that I really wanted to do that haven't worked out. 10 years later, people are still asking me that question and I don't mind answering it.
Hello and welcome to News 18 Shosha. Today we have with us a very special guest, the extremely gorgeous and the very talented Shriya Pilgaonkar. Guys, welcome her to News 18 Shosha. Thank you so much for joining us, Shriya.
Thank you.
Very nice having you. Firstly, you're looking very pretty.
Thank you so much.
It's lovely having you as well.
Thank you.
Shriya, we are here in December 2024. How has the year been so far for you?
Well, December has definitely Decembered. And by that I mean it's been actually a really wholesome end to the year. I mean, I feel like every year has its roller coasters, and this year has been a roller coaster, but an exciting one.
A roller coaster in the sense in professional?
Generally, overall, I mean, every year, no year is just going to be
a flat curve,
right? Yeah. I've had like 2 incredible sequels with Taza Khabar 2, breaking so many records.
Absolutely.
With Broken News 2.
Yes.
And it's actually very rare that sequels get more love than the first part. And in our case, both these shows have gotten so much love, even in the second one. And my parents' film, Navra Maza Nausaza 2, the Marathi film, also did so well at the box office. So sequels have sequeled this year. And it's been a great year of like travel and good health. And to be very honest, I think post-pandemic, the way I judge a year is not even based on work anymore. It's tabiyat kaisi hai sabki, your loved ones are hale and hearty. I mean, that is my gratitude. Yeah, absolutely.
You clearly mentioned and you just gave it a pass by, but I'll have to touch that topic. Yeah. You traveled this year.
Yes.
And we saw that on your Instagram as well. How was that? Has it changed you in a way? What's that one thing that has impacted you in a good way?
For a lot of people, travel is an option. For me, it's a necessity. And I don't always mean traveling to only like fancy destinations or internationally. For me, even 2 days in the mountains are necessary for my soul as a person. So it's something that I consciously do between projects. This year, though, a very, very special trip was my trip to LA, where I was on the jury of IFLA, the Indian Film Festival of Los Angeles. And I love film festivals. I've always loved film festivals. Even before I started acting, actually, I was that person who would stand in the line, go watch films. That's like my Coachella.
Wow.
I really love watching films in that atmosphere.
I understand.
And you're just exposed to so many stories and you're so nourished as an artist, I would say, with the conversations you have and what you learn. So at IFLA, essentially, I was on the jury. So for me, it was a very different perspective. I learned so much about how to view films.
Wow.
And when you're in those rooms, you get a sense of how are people really judging these diverse stories. So I met a lot of people and I was just very, very inspired to be there, to be in La La Land. Yeah.
But, talking about film festivals, it's not that, we do have n number of film festivals happening in India.
Yeah.
But it's still considered to be a little niche, right?
Is it? Even now?
Even now, I think so. There's some kind of a... Yeah. You don't see majority crowd rushing there as much as we see into a theatre.
You'll be surprised. See, cinephiles, people who genuinely follow and love film festivals will make that effort. But yes, I feel like a lot of people who don't do that don't understand what that atmosphere really does. But you have to be passionate.
That's very true.
I'll give you an example. I'm not someone who will go crazy about a concert ticket unless I really love the artist. But the way people plan that let's wake up, let's book the tickets, they make a trip out of it. That is the excitement that I have at film festivals. Therefore, it ends up being about what you're really passionate about.
That's true.
And I think over the years, whether it's MAMI, Mumbai Film Festival, or Sundance or Cannes, it's opened itself to such different kinds of stories and filmmakers, and so many films from India have just done such a stellar job at that international level that's at least got eyeballs for people to find out.
That's true.
And it's really wonderful that, and of course, a lot of progress needs to be made, for certain films, especially like independent films, to find funding and all of that. But if you look at the journey of Girls Will Be Girls, if you look at the journey of All We Imagine as Light, these films have really paved the way.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Yeah.
Let's not miss out on Lapata Ladies as well.
Yes.
It's been a fantastic.
Yes. Also a film that has accessibility.
True.
Often people feel like festival films don't have accessibility, and yes, a lot of them don't. They might be niche, but there are so many films that would be like get a good response theatrically as well.
That's true.
And I always, like, for me, it's like being in film school that week, and I actually take time out, unless it's a genuine busy shoot, but I make sure I sort of block that time at Mami. In fact, I was on the jury of the short film festival at Mami last year.
Yes.
And it was such a full circle moment for me, because 10 years ago, I had made a short film called Dresswala that was in the short film category at Mami that eventually I judged 10 years later. So you never know how these dots join.
Absolutely. No. But my question, like, if I have to finish what I was trying to say, how important are these film festivals to probably, nurture the future generation, or like the ones who are aspiring to be filmmakers or actors for that matter? All those passionate people. How important are these film festivals to have a good footfall, and how important are we to have it regularly?
Oh, it's extremely important. I do know that a lot of film festivals have suffered with the lack of funds and sponsorship, but they're still managing because they know that they have so many film lovers supporting them. But you see, it's such a wonderful platform, especially for people who have that authentic voice, who want to tell that story. And this is where some of the biggest filmmakers have actually started their journey. Whether it's actors, whether it's filmmakers, technicians, it's where you don't have any boundaries, restrictions. You can say what you want to. And you have a platform, if it's that good, to really be showcased. And yes, you have to educate yourself about the world of film festivals, because it's not really, it can be intimidating to navigate.
True.
Right? But I do know so many people who have benefited from it. But I hope as we as an industry also kind of understand how to better our funds and supporting independent filmmakers as well.
True. You think you see that happening? If mainstream cinema and mainstream production houses back these kind of festivals, do you see that happening very often, or do you see that happening in the near future?
I don't know about backing, but I do know, for example, Vasan Bala, Vikramaditya Motwane, Anurag Kashyap, these are Guneet Monga. These are people who are doing so well actively in the film industry, even with commercial films and otherwise, and the big box office hits. And at the same time, they continue to support and champion festival films. And those are the kind of filmmakers you really want. And in fact, I see so many, even if I talk about like Ali Richa, there are people who also go and watch these films.
Correct.
I remember Ishan Khattar and I have bumped into each other so many times at Mami. So you do have filmmakers and actors championing these festivals.
True.
And even the filmmakers. A lot of the filmmakers today started their journey and were spotted
back in the film festivals.
Back at film festivals. So, whether it's Avinash Arun, who made a Killa, Chaitanya Tamhane, who made Court. So, yeah, I feel like the lines are blurring, and I feel like the more sort of mounting these festivals get, and I mean beyond the red carpet of festivals,
True.
right?
Yes.
Because often festivals get attention just for the red carpet aspect of it. I guess more people also need to talk about, besides the branding of it, what's happening in there. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Speaking of lines blurring out, and you have been recognized for your OTT series. Every single one that you do is different from each other, and we loved you across in Taza Khabar as well.
Thank you.
And talking about blurring lines, wherein एक time था, there was a time in Indian cinema, wherein we used to talk about Bollywood as Hindi film industry only. But these days we're seeing a lot more pan-Indian cinema coming, down from south as well. So how is it? I mean, definitely it's a good thing that's happening.
Yeah.
But as an actor, what do you have to say about this?
It's a great time to be an actor today because you're not restricted to one language. And see, because of subtitles today, the scope is so much more. Also, different industries are also welcoming actors from different parts of the country. And to me, I've always thought of it as the Indian film industry. Yes, primarily Bollywood seems to be known to the West world much more, but you look at the Tamil Telugu industry, it's given us the biggest hits in the past few years and even way before, to be
yes.
very honest. So I just think that people are much more aware now, and good cinema has come from all parts of the world. In fact, even from Manipur. How many people know about films that come from Manipur?
True.
How many people know films, that come from Kashmir? I have a few filmmaker friends in Kashmir who make independent films or other parts, So I also think it's about building your own awareness. And as an actor, I've always been excited to work in different languages.
That's
Because I think especially regional films, always have a certain cultural intonation. They're rooted, and that rooted aspect is what makes a lot of those stories very exciting as an actor.
True.
And because of my love for languages, I think, anyway, my debut was a Marathi film.
Correct.
Uske baad I ended up doing a French film. And once I started Hindi, there was more Hindi work, but in the middle, I did a Tamil Telugu film with Rana. So as and when the work comes, I would never say no just because the language or the setup is different. In fact, today more than ever, I feel like that fluidity
Of course.
is happening across. Yeah.
True. You clearly mentioned that after your break in Marathi movie, you went to the West. You did a French
I didn't
movie.
go to the West.
No,
The
of
West
course.
kind of came here.
Came to you. No doubt. But it's not an easy journey, right?
Yeah.
Like, I see a lot of people who have done predominantly Indian cinema and then moved into the West.
Yeah.
But in your case, it's been the West came to you first.
It was actually interesting because it was like Marathi, French and Hindi all happening at the same time. But it was very encouraging for me as an actor who's just starting off. And the way I got that film also, I got it through an audition. The casting director saw me at a workshop. She asked me to audition for it. I had no idea what I was auditioning for. And turns out I got the part, and the director is a veteran French director, Claude Lelouch, starring the amazing Jean Dujardin, who was, I totally loved him in The Artist. So it felt surreal, honestly. And in a way, look, actors keep needing that validation on and off, but especially at the beginning of your career, you feel like, okay, you're on the right path.
That's true.
So it was very encouraging to sort of have that. And I've always been clear that no matter what profession I would have chosen, I wanted to establish myself at a global level, not just in India, but even internationally with the work I would do.
True.
So it was like a step in that direction for me.
No doubt. So, you just mentioned that, whatever profession you would have chosen brings me to that you didn't want would be a wrong thing, but didn't intend to get into acting or films before. You had taken sports very seriously.
Yeah.
Right?
Sports was at a much younger age.
Of course.
But after that, I was training to be a Kathak dancer. I was teaching Kathak as well. Somewhere I knew I would perhaps do something in the entertainment industry, but at the same time, I had so many other interests as well. I also have a slightly academic bent of mind. I enjoy studying. Yeah, is that weird?
She's a scholar.
No, I'm not a scholar. I am not a scholar at all. But I just feel like there were so many other interests I had that I felt like I also have to explore that. But I guess अगर आपके खून में है, then
that's very true.
It finds you. But I've always had a performer's instinct. And by that I mean that I've felt very comfortable in front of the camera. I've always felt very comfortable performing in front of people. Even debates in school.
Right.
It's a performance.
True.
So it felt very natural to me. And I almost wonder why I didn't kind of veer to it sooner. But I'm glad it happened when it happened, because I was doing theatre when it happened.
Right.
And my filmmaking journey started before, because I was making short films, I was making documentaries.
Correct.
So somewhere instinctively I knew I have to be in this world, but I didn't think that it would be acting. Until I started doing it, and then I was like, "Arey, yahi to hai." Yeah.
You found a footing finally.
Absolutely.
No doubt. You clearly mentioned "Khoon mein hai, to hoga," but it also brings.
Actually, you never know. सबके साथ ऐसा
नहीं
नहीं
नहीं,
होता.
for you
Yeah.
I'm saying, but you also are carrying a legacy.
Yeah.
Both your parents are veterans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you go in front of that camera, or when you put your craft out there, even today, do you feel that pressure? I mean, a good pressure.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
I don't think I ever thought about it like pressure. I think I thought about it like responsibility.
Okay.
Also, what they have achieved and the goodwill and the love and the years of experience, you can't match that.
That's true.
So there is no question of comparison. I'm not in that world of experience. But what I was clear was that because they're known for their craft, I knew that establishing myself as a good actor or working on that is very important to me. It's not just about getting that platform or the fame or the big hit. It's about really being known and also making that space in the hearts of the audience, which is not easy. You may give the biggest hits, but that doesn't guarantee that you're in the hearts of the audience.
True.
Whereas you may not have gotten the biggest hits, but you may have gotten that love. So somewhere I think I was very clear that the way I carry myself, how am I dealing with the ups and downs, how am I navigating myself as an actor, that responsibility is the legacy.
True.
Right? When you leave a set, what is the energy you're bringing on a set? Because the last thing I would want is for someone to have a bad experience working with me and then it comes ki acha, inki beti. You don't want that. Because you can't compare your journey. I mean, as someone from a family of actors, this is something I had known early on. It
That's
would
very
be very dangerous to enter the film industry comparing myself to anybody
anyone.
else.
That's very true.
Yeah.
How is it usually when you three sit together, not as a father-daughter or like a mother and daughter,
Yeah.
but as actors, as professionals? What is that feeling like?
It's amazing. And honestly, it's such a privilege. It's like my roommates are fabulous actors. I love that at the end of the day, I can come back home and I don't have to over-explain what my experience has
True,
been.
true.
There are certain things that only actors will understand about how it may feel or what the challenges are or, having creative discussions. And I think it's so important that, or rather, it is so beautiful that I get to have this experience. But the good part also is that, they come from a certain experience. There are so many new experiences that I have had that they haven't had. So it's not really about giving each other advice, but it's about just sharing. And whether it's like work on dialect, whether it's work on body language, whether it's about something not working out, I'm very fortunate that I have parents who can just listen and understand. And that's not a privilege that everybody has. And I fully acknowledge it, And what's also nice is that, there was one beautiful moment that happened a few months ago where 5:30 in the morning, I woke up because I had to go for an ad shoot.
Okay.
My parents were shooting for the same film and three of us were out in the hall doing our own thing. And I was like, Ai Papa, how beautiful is this moment that all of us are going to work together.
Wow.
That's a blessing.
That's very true.
And we're just there for each other, yeah. We share stories. We're there to laugh about things. Sometimes we're there to crib about things. And it just feels like this collaborative effort. But we're not always talking about films.
That's true.
Yeah.
I understand.
It's like a normal dramatic family जहाँ पे जैसी regular चीजें होती हैं वही हो रहा है. We're not filmy in our being. We're very simple people.
Of course.
Yeah.
I understand. What is that one thing? I understand that you've been learning from your parents ever since,
Yeah.
and it would be difficult to point out probably one thing.
Yeah.
But what's the best thing that has stayed with you that they've told you?
I feel like they've not really said these things, but I've seen them in action. My father always says that the best way to be different is to be yourself and don't be apologetic about who you are. Just be your most complete self because that's what's going to make you different and stand out. You see, some of the people today who we love and who've got fame and who in pop culture are sort of really standing out are people who are wholly themselves.
True.
Are extreme versions of themselves. That when you think of them, you think of their qualities, right? And for my mother, it's also one more thing, that no work is too big or too small. Every single part you play, every single project you do, don't think of it as chota kaam or bada kaam. It's work.
It's work. True.
And with respect to my mother, well, she always tells me that don't forget to have fun while you navigate the stressful world of what it is also like to be an actor. And be a little more detached to the outcome, which is hard. It's not always easy, because as actors, we take everything very personally, right?
Very true.
You like the project, you don't like the project, everything is personal. So for my mother, it'll be like stress a little less, which I've gotten better at actually. And with dad, it'll be like, don't let anyone say no to you.
Okay.
If you are confident about something, you don't always need to seek that validation. Go out and create your own path, find your voice.
Definitely. Now we clearly know where your confidence comes from. No doubt. But if there is one thing that you learned this year, what would that be? And what are you grateful for?
I think the most important thing that I did for myself this year was really show up for myself. And by that I mean sometimes saying no can be very hard, right? Because you're always wondering, there's always this FOMO in your head, correct? What if you lose out on this, or what if you lose out on that? But sometimes if something doesn't feel right to you, it's okay to say no. Don't make decisions out of fear. And that's something I did this year.
Wow.
I think I feel a lot more brave in my choices. And I'm a lot more stubborn about what I want. I'm extremely ambitious as a person.
Right.
And I feel this year I've been most stubborn about what I want to do.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Of course.
In a positive way. Which means that, we all want to do things, and we all have an idea of what we deserve and, of what we want to do in life. So I'm excited that I'm actually stubborn about it. Because it takes guts to also be stubborn.
That's true. Very true.
And I'm also grateful because there are some things that didn't work out. And at that moment, I was upset about why it didn't work out. But eventually now, I'm really glad that it didn't. So sometimes things not working out for you also is a blessing in disguise. We just don't wait.
That's true.
And another thing would be that I feel like I'm a lot more excited now about the process rather than the outcome.
And what's your process change now?
And by process, I mean that, there are things that I am, say, creatively working on. I'm also writing a bit. I mean, there are things that I am sort of exploring as a creative person. And I'm doing that without any fear. So I think there is fear that has shifted in me, wherein I'm not feeling as afraid as I perhaps used to a couple of years ago, where I'm more open to taking risks. I'm more open to taking that leap of faith. And I don't necessarily constantly seek that validation anymore.
Wow.
Not always. It's important.
Right.
We all thrive on it. I'm saying, but not always.
Okay.
Yeah.
You also mentioned that, your mom told you not to take things personally as well.
Yeah.
And you say you've learned it. But
Yeah.
has there been any moment in your life
Yeah.
where your craft has not been appreciated the way you would have wanted it to be? Has it affected you? Have you felt a little low?
Of course, there are days where you will feel low. I feel like, there are so many projects that maybe say I've auditioned for, or I've given my best, or things that I really wanted to do that haven't worked out. But I never stop myself from feeling any emotion. I think, sometimes the narrative out there is you always have to be strong. But being strong does not mean not being vulnerable. In fact, it means embracing your vulnerability, allowing yourself to feel everything. When I'm happy, I'm fully happy. When I'm angry, I'm fully angry. When I'm sad, I will go all out and cry. I don't stop myself from feeling any emotion, to be very honest with you. So yes, if I'm feeling low about something, recently there was something I really wanted. It didn't work out. I felt low. I let it pass through me and then I was fine. I will not just sit feeling low. No. I then want to move on. Okay, let me just, if this is not happening, I'm going to create another route. So yes, I allow myself to feel everything, and this is a part of our job. this is
True.
showbiz.
True.
You know, when I started acting, I didn't approach it from the point of view of showbiz. I approached it from the point of view of just being an actor. But over the few years, I understood that navigating showbiz is very important if you want to do different things.
And navigation also includes social media these days.
Absolutely.
How important is social media for you, and how do you use social media as an actor?
I enjoy social media also because I'm not a content creator, and by that I mean that my main line of work is not social media.
True.
It's sort of running parallelly to me being an actor. So I don't feel the pressure of social media. It's a great avenue for me to show aspects of my personality that otherwise perhaps I'm not able to show through my work. You know, if, for example, if a lot of my work has been rooted in reality, and if I want to do parts that perhaps are a little more glam or that show me differently, I'll put out those looks and that vibe on social media. That's like my digital scrapbook. It becomes like your show reel, you know. You want to show people you can dance, throw in a dance video. You want to show people you can sing, that's great. People didn't have that earlier. So it's such a great platform to have. Also, it's a wonderful avenue to make money.
True.
You know, so it takes the load off a lot of things. So I don't feel that pressure, to be very honest. I do feel, though, that there are so many successful actors in the world who are not even on social media.
Exactly.
Right? There is no you should or you should not. Yes, in the Indian context, it does help because you can also connect with people. It's like a direct, everyone's a critic, everyone's a journalist, right? There's a direct connection. You know, पहले स्टार्स वो होते थे जो एस्पिरेशनल थे.
Correct.
और आज स्टार्स वो हैं जो रिलेटेबल हैं, जो एक इंटीमेट एक्सपीरियंस होता है. So that glamour has also changed a little bit. It's just that I feel like what I don't want to lose sight of is the effort I need to put as an actor, as a performer.
I understand.
You know.
Absolutely.
Which means that I want to keep doing my workshops. I want to keep working on my craft. It's not just working on your social media to increase your followers. And I feel sometimes a lot of new actors are led wrongly to believe that increase your following and that's the only thing that's going to get you work. No, because you may have millions of followers, but if you're not going to do a good job, then that's going to stay.
That's true.
Whereas somebody like a Bhuvan today is a great example of a content creator turned actor, and he's both, who's done it successfully.
Absolutely.
So you have wonderful examples as well.
You know, talking about Bhuvan, you've had 2 seasons with him.
Yeah.
How do you remember the first time you met him? How was it like?
Yeah. The first time I met him was when they were narrating Taza Khabar to me. His simplicity and his humility is what makes him really special. And that's what also I think connected the both of us, because I'm also very simple in my being. And I remember we didn't even have to try. It's one of those friendships where no effort. And we're very different people in one aspect of it. But we're also similar. And there's this kida we both have, you know. Little sense of humor, masti. We both are like that. And I loved working with him, yeah. I really loved working with him. I think he knows how to get people together. He is genuinely very caring. And I'm very inspired by his journey. And he's also somebody who doesn't take his fame with as much heaviness. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He wears it very gracefully. He wears that fame very gracefully. He's so wonderful with his fans. So yeah, we really got along, and we have that bond but even off set we have a beautiful relationship. So it was super fun, and the audience has given Madhu Vasya so much love.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Yeah.
You know, when this role came to you, how did you perceive it? Like, how did you want to do this?
So at that stage, I had done Guilty Minds, where I was a lawyer.
Correct.
And that was like a drama.
Right.
I'd done The Broken News. I was shooting for The Broken News, wherein I was a journalist. And honestly, I felt like I wanted to be part of a story and a world that was different genre-wise, jahan pe I could do some masti, where the look would also be different. And when a Madhu came to me, you know, she's a sex worker, she's spunky, she's speaking differently, the world of Taza Khabar is fantastical. And as an actor, I felt like this is what I want to do. it was very instinctive and मुझे मजा आया. If I am listening to a script and मुझे अगर मजा आता है, then I know I want to do it. Sometimes it's not about making good decisions or bad decisions. It's about, do you want to have that experience?
That's true.
And I wanted to have that experience. I wanted to work with those actors. And up until now, my instincts have actually guided me pretty well because I don't think about it from the point of view of sahi ya galat. You know, I'm not judging it like that. So it was too much fun. And what happens is when you do certain kinds of work, people are very quick to stereotype you.
Right, that's very true.
So Taza Khabar for me was a project that I did to kind of break
That whole stereotype.
the genre and to break the kind of righteous paths.
And what has it done to you? Amazing work. I mean, I think it has totally changed the narrative for you, if I may say so,
Yeah.
right?
In fact, some people, that's a little too much, but some people did not recognize me. And I'm like, wait, A, that's a compliment. But B, I was like, of course it's me. But I like to play parts where I can surprise people. I like to play parts where the dialect is different. I did this film with MA Entertainment called Dry Day, wherein the dialect was very different, you know, where I had a holy song. Now, that also was a decision I made, keeping in mind that I was projected differently.
True.
Because that perception is important.
That's very true.
Yeah.
You know, when you spoke about when you heard about Taza Khabar, all you thought about, the first thing was that came to your mind is, would you have fun? Is that your process?
100%. Working with people who are going to give you a good working experience and who are fun to work with is very important, because you can have, like, a project can be successful, but your memory of it may not be very good. So with Taza Khabar, we lucked out. In fact, even with Broken News, Guilty Minds, like Jaideep Sonali, they're such good friends. I've had touchwood, my God, touchwood. I've had one okay experience on another project, but I feel like you spend so much time with each other. There is so much energy exchange that makes a huge difference. Yeah, you're working with each other for 14, 16 hours.
No doubt.
So it's bonus. It's cherry on the cake if you get to, you know, you're not just sitting in your vans.
True.
You're actually having a great time. And luckily with Taza Khabar, and I think you can tell.
Of course, the camaraderie and the whole everybody, in fact, every single person.
Prathamesh, Deven sir, this time Javed sir. We've had a blast working together. Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of working together, how was it in Fan? I'm pretty sure you've answered this n number of times, but we can't get over.
10 years later, people are still asking me that question, and I don't mind answering it because sometimes it feels like this surreal dream. In fact, you're asking me and I can see SRK right behind you.
Yes,
now.
He's right. He's right here.
He's right here, yeah. That was so special. I mean, firstly, to play the love interest of Shah Rukh in your first Hindi film, that itself felt surreal. And that film itself was making very challenging decisions and exciting sort of moves in terms of having him play two characters. And, you know, it was quite brave, I think, that film. And yeah, I mean, I always have the biggest smile on my face when I think about my moments with him, and more so about the off-camera moments.
What were they like? Tell us.
It's hard to describe because, you know, for me, I got a sense of what this man is like. The person behind the star is also a star. He's a star as a human being as well. And I remember between shots, we were shooting in a colony where everybody was screaming his name and he had to request people to calm down. And he did very gently. And then in the break, we would sit in the car just chatting about like books and poetry.
Wow.
And very normal, like, you know, like we've known each other forever. And while I was chatting with him, suddenly I was like, Shah Rukh Khan. But that is a sign of a star. That's his grace. He makes you so comfortable.
That's very true.
And everybody who meets him will have the same thing to tell you. That he's so comfortable in his own skin. He's so comfortable being him. That kind of reflects. And my most special memory with him actually is during the rap party, doing Chaya Chaya with him.
Oh, wow.
That is very special.
I think only Shah Rukh can nail Chaya Chaya.
Gosh. This year on his birthday, I mean, I didn't think he would reply, but I wanted to send him all my love. So I messaged him and I was like, oh, plenty surprised that he replied, and how generous of him, you know. So I love him and I hope I get to work with him again, because he's also doing, I mean, with his last couple of films, I think he's just kind of
Hitting it out of the park.
back, raring to go, and that's so inspiring for everybody.
That's very true.
Yeah, I love him. Everybody loves him.
Speaking of future work, what is 2025 like for you?
Ooh, 2025. Without giving names, I can say that because a lot of my my effort and energy is going into doing things that reimagine me and genres that are different. I feel like that is something I'm doing actively. There's a project where you're going to see me in a completely different look and a completely different time period.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that is something I'm excited about. There's a very sweet film as well, which, touch wood, I hope all of these things happen on time, because this is another thing with actors, right?
That's
like
true.
1 week before something happens, so I don't want to like talk about it or like jinx it. If it's meant to be, of course it'll happen. But you know, there are aspects to me that I just haven't done before. Like I really
course.
want to do a nice, relaxed love story. I want to do a beautiful love story, you know, जहाँ पे नखरे हो, अदाएं हो, वो chemistry build करने का मौका मिले.
True.
It's something I really want to do. I also want to perform more as on screen as a dancer.
Oh, yes.
And I feel people haven't seen that
Side
side
of
to
you.
me. Yeah. So I'm guessing अभी dance reels डालने पड़ेंगे मुझे.
Oh, God. But on that note, Shreya, thank you so much for your time. It was
Thank
lovely
you.
chatting
Thank
with you.
you so much.
And we wish you all the best for 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Pilgaonkar and you're watching me on News 18 Shosha, and to all the viewers, wish you a very, very happy new year. Lots of love.